Welcome
Always root.
everybody to the third week at OMG Biz Cafe demonstration Biz Leader Toastmasters. I feel like it's a long name, but I'm just trying to be like official, unofficial. And this is going to be a great Toastmaster meeting. And our goal is to be better than all the other 149 other countries that are also doing Toastmasters because we're business leaders helping business leaders in a Toastmaster setting. And within 4 to 8 weeks, we'll be an official club. All right. So, as the uh, actually to keep us on track as well, because I started the last couple meetings the same way, where we start with the sergeant at arms to get you familiar with the roles. There are 7 different club officers, so we start off with the sergeant at arms, and now I have to play my multitasking role. So I am the sergeant at arms right now, and I welcome you to our OMG Biz Cafe, where if you have anything technical, technically I am the technical person. To if you have something in the chat that's really bugging you, then go ahead and put it there, and we'll refer to that later. And then if I don't see it, then download it and email it to me later for all of your problems and questions as well. If you
You
need
should
more,
change your voice for each position you're doing.
Yeah, I
okay.
agree.
Since it's more
Yeah.
psychological, I'll put in my Dr. Ruth voice. So thank you, everybody. You are on the air. I am now the Sergeant at Arms. I am here to welcome you to the OMG Business Cafe. Today, we are going to talk about public speaking. It's not what you think. If you recognize my voice, we are not going to talk about that. Okay,
You sound like a poo.
okay. So on that note, I'm going to end talking like that because I ran out. And we will now. What did I do after that? Introduce the meeting, and then the Sergeant Arms will lead us. I like to honor Ralph Smedley, the founder of Toastmasters, on October 22, 1924. So it's 100 years last October. Well, so we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance as he had conducted at all Toastmaster meetings. So if some of you are in a position where you could stand, uh, I think Mary did it last time, and we could honor Ralph Smedley by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll look like I'm standing up just so that I could be in reach
I
with my
can't stand.
microphone. I
Yes.
pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag,
flag
United
of the
States
United
of
States of
America,
America
and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which
for
it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty
with
and justice
liberty and
for
justice
all.
for all. Play ball!
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to skip the Star Spangled Banner unless somebody wants to sing it. Okay, on that note, we probably don't have time for that, although I think it's only 2 or 3 minutes to actually do that. Oh, you're telling me that that's the time for that. Okay, so after the Sergeant at Arms will introduce us to the President Pro Tem, a temporary president in Robert Rules of Order, President Pro Tem. So, hi, everybody, I'm the President Pro Tem. I'm Paul Finkelstein, and now, in my serious tone of voice, I will welcome you all here by doing the official attendance record, if you will. So when I point to if I say your name, if you could say your name back and say after your name, say what city you're from, and President Pro Tem Paul Finkelstein. So, for example, if I say Paul Finkelstein, you would say, and your name was Paul Finkelstein, you would say Paul Finkelstein. I am from Delray Beach, Florida. President Pro Tem Paul Finkelstein. And now, give us the best, sexiest voice you got, Sherry. Where are you from? And President Pro Tem Paul Finkelstein.
Sherry White from Lake Worth, Florida. President Pro Tem Paul Finkelstein.
Thank you. And Mary Stanley.
Harry Stanley, Medford, Minnesota, Children of the Cornland, President Pro Tem Paul Finkelstein.
And now, and we could also applaud for each of those too, Sherry and Mary and Paul, and then Adrian Tiki.
Hi, I'm Adrienne Ticky. I'm from Delray Beach, Florida, and back to you, President Pro Tem Paul Finkelstein.
Oh, perfect example. She's going to be our world champion speaker coming right out of the Scalar universe. And welcome everybody. And now I turn over the meeting to our Toastmaster of the day. Where the Toastmaster of the day, or TOD, will tell you, not transfer on death. Toastmaster of the day will tell you the three parts of our meeting. Hi, everybody. I'm Paul Finkelstein, the Toastmaster of the day, and I will explain to you how our meeting will run because it has a full agenda. And that is the first part of our meeting will be prepared speeches where our Toastmasters to be, work diligently from last Wednesday to this Wednesday, preparing their speech out of up to 13 different speech paths or speech leadership paths. Two of the leadership paths, just so you know as a reference, one is presentation mastery and another one is dynamic leadership. And those two speech paths are about maybe 30 to 40 different speeches and different leadership assignments. And also part of the leadership is to be Toastmaster of the day and general evaluator and all things during the meeting. And then there's while you're looking for recruiting other future Toastmasters that are business leaders for our group here, online around the world, if you know somebody that wants to brush up on some hint, Sherry, humorous speeches, if you know someone that's the joker of the family, there's a whole leadership path on humorous speeches. There's also all kinds of very useful pathways for advancing your career for different companies. The next part is table topics, which we do have a table topic master today, which won't be me. So I'm really excited to be able to do our table topic session with at least 5 to 8 different topics that we'll do. And we have a timer as well, which leads me to, on the last part of our meeting, the third part is evaluations, which we learn how we could improve and what we did well and things like that. But I can't do this meeting by myself. There are helpers, official helpers, and TAG is an acronym to help me remind everybody here and you of the helpers, which are timer, counter, and grammarian. And today, those roles will all be performed by Adrienne Ticky. She'll first tell us her duties as timer, then she'll tell us her duties as counter, and then she'll tell us her duties as grammarian, and keep it as brief as you can.
Great.
You don't have to tell the timing parameters for this part, just actually what your duties are.
Right. So as timer, I am timing the speeches or the table topics or the evaluations, and they are given a specific amount of time. When we hit the required amount of time that you've reached, I'll put the green. When you are 1 minute through or 5 minutes in the topics or in the prepared speeches, I'll hold up the yellow, and at 6 minutes I'll hold up the red, and at 6 minutes and 30 seconds we'll clap you off. But that's what we do for the timer. And then for the counter, every time someone says a filler word like so, or repeats like I said, that's considered a or an
A double.
and you'll hear the sound.
Thank you.
Isn't that great?
And then the word grammarian?
And the grammarian is picks the word of the day, which is plethora. So if you all can use the word plethora in a sentence, boy, in 2 or 3 weeks, we are just going to have a plethora of new members. There's an example in a sentence. And then I also make sure that the grammar is correct and give that report at the end of the meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster Paul.
And those are our helpers. All of our helpers, all performed very well by Adrienne Ticky. Congratulations. Applause to her as well. Everybody get used to it, because if you go to other meetings, you're going to see lots of applause. You might as well do it for ourselves here. And on that note, I will turn over the meeting to our table topic master that will also ask for the timer to do the timing parameters before we go into the table topics, of which she will also tell us the topic first and then call on somebody and do like about 6 to 10 of them. And let me introduce to you the table topic master of the evening, Mary Stanley. Yay!
Woo!
Welcome. So what am I supposed to do?
Well, actually, you are supposed to let people know that your duties are not meant to stump any future Toastmaster or future Toastmaster here. Your job is to help us think better on our feet. It's impromptu speaking. And you might let people know of little hints, like you can say to actually breathe before you actually start to do your table topic. You might even, as a suggested tip, you could say, could you please repeat the topic or the question? And that gives you another chance to regain your thoughts if you need that. I think all of us are great with that. I think I thought Adrian fell off her chair for a second there.
I did.
I'm glad that she's okay. Excellent. And also, you might want to tell in future members too that there are two of my favorite words, which are pivot and segue, and the art of actually completely ignoring your topic and transitioning to an entirely different topic of your choice. That is legal here as well. So back to you, Mary Stanley, our table topic master of the evening.
All right. So the whole point of table topics is to have fun. Think on your feet and just go with it. Instead of thinking about what you're going to say, just follow your gut and just have fun. Speak, don't think. And the topic today is weird worlds and wacky universes.
Oh, the theme of
So,
it, you mean?
yes.
Okay. And then before you begin, just make sure you ask Adrian. She's nipping at the bud here. She really wants you to ask her what is the timing parameters for table topics, and then she will tell you. And then at the end, we'll vote for the best one, and then we'll give out the award at the end of the whole meeting. So go ahead and ask Adrian.
So the whole point of this topic is to think back when you're a kid and have fun. Adrian, what are the parameters for timing for this today?
Well, for our table topics today, you are considered golden when you hit the 1 minute. That is the minimum criteria. Then when you hit 1 minute and 30 seconds, you'll get the yellow. And when you hit 2 minutes, that is the completion of your speech. And you have a 30-second grace period in which we will clap you off the stage.
She gets applause for that, by the way. You don't have to learn try to yourself the clap, so that's good. You'll get that on the way home.
Back to you, table topics master.
Well, yeah, perfect.
So do I just call on a name or
Yeah,
is there an order?
You first say the topic and then you call the name.
All right. So the topic is weird worlds and wacky universes.
Okay, let me get ready. Okay.
All right. We're going to start with Paul.
Oh wait, you reshuffle.
You're going to love this one, Paul.
Reshuffle the deck though, because you really have to call the topic first and then the person, because then it's really impromptu. Otherwise, now even though I don't know what the topic is. So go ahead, you could use me. This is just practice anyway. But just
all right. Okay, we'll just start over.
I think Sherry.
All right, Paul.
She's coming.
What happened to Sherry?
She's coming back in.
I got kicked out.
Okay.
Future funnies. Everyone in the future communicates with dance moves. Show us or explain to us how the dance would go that I'm late for work.
Fellow future Toastmasters, most welcome guests, and especially table topic master Mary Stanley. When you're late for work, don't you have one of these in your car? And when you're and nobody could hear you, and you're stuck in bumper to bumper traffic, you just constantly do this all day long, and then the person still ignores you. But at least you gave it your best all to communicate with them in the future, which I think the future is not going to be any different than now, except for there's going to be more pigs on the road trying to get to their destination. So I think that therefore it would be much better to come to an online meeting to save on gas. And also did you ever try to teach a pig to sing? It basically, the pig is annoyed and the pig doesn't want to sing anyway. And it kind of is the same thing for small business people, that if you try to pitch a business person that doesn't want to hear what you have to sell them, it annoys them and they don't want to hear it anyway. So let's not teach pigs to sing, and let's use pigs. Let's not use pigs to get to our meetings. let's just come online at OMG Biz Cafe or omgtalk.com and bring a guest. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
All right. So,
Dang it.
Was she killing a pig or something?
I'm on a pile of clothes. It's a long story, so just bear with me if I fall off the chair again. I love this Toastmasters meeting.
I'll take that as a testimonial.
all right, Sherry, do you feel up to doing it or no?
I'll try. I'll
All
try.
right. Your topic is time travel shenanigans. Time freezes for 24 hours, but you keep moving. What's the most fun thing you do?
Oh, I forgot. I forgot how I'm supposed to begin it.
Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, Table Topic Master.
Okay. Yes. Okay. What he said.
Yes, stage your voice. I did it for you.
Yes. I think that in the future, if I had 24 hours that didn't move, that I could do whatever I wanted to in that 24-hour period, I would sleep. I don't think I get enough sleep. I know there are a lot of people that would say that they would shop, a lot of women that would say that they would shop. But I think that sleeping allows our bodies to recuperate so that we could make fantastic decisions at some point. Since I'm a small business owner, I need to be able to make fantastic decisions. So sleeping would help me to do that. Thank you, Ms. Table Topic Master.
Woo!
So it's a new habit we have to do. Clap. A plethora of clapping.
Oh, come on. That was
Totally forgot about plethora.
Had to sneak that in. Just remember too to say the topic first and then call on somebody, even though
That's
Adrian's
what's
last.
all right. Adrian, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Random ridiculousness. Adrian, if you could turn any chore into an Olympic sport, what would you medal in?
Oh, so table topics master, Toastmaster of the day, distinguished guests, and anyone else that's listening that is from the government. If I could turn some type of daily chore into an Olympic sport, I think it would be how fast can you wash the pool? Right? So I don't know about you guys, but I live in South Florida and we have a whole bunch of palm trees here and the wind blows like crazy. And all of the bronze and everything gets in the pool and it takes too long to clean it. So I would time myself. I'd start practicing right away. I would time myself and see if I could make it every other week an increase of 30 seconds off of the cleaning time. And I think that's how I would use my daily chores as an Olympic sport. And I would come in first, baby. Thank you. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Now what am I supposed to do?
That's a good question. And go around again for let's do some more practice and say the topic first and then the person for four more topics. Actually, include yourself. Say a topic and then you go. You could use some practice.
Okay. Am I talking off?
What's that?
Hey, if I can time and hold the pointers up and keep track of plethora, you can do it, Mary. I have faith in you.
We have
All
like
right.
one more plethora of topics, including yourself.
All right. So the plethora of topics. So for me, I am going to do time travel shenanigans. So if you're stuck in the 1980s for a week, what would your hairstyle and theme song be? All right, Toastmaster and distinguished guests. Being in the 80s is a time period that I grew up in, the time period that I avoid like the plague. My daughter dresses like the 80s. For the most part, what I'd start out with the hairstyle, which would end up being, you remember the bottles and bottles of aerosol Aquanet hairspray? The whole reason we have global warming right now is how many women have spent plethoras of time spraying those cans into the ozone. So the first thing would happen is my hair would end up being sky high, like I'm in Texas, curly as heck, because then I could let it go and not deal with it. And I would start running around with clothes that are in my daughter's wardrobe. The leg warmers, the leggings, the shirt, oversized t-shirts and sweatshirts that hang over the shoulder. Theme song. So my theme song from the 80s, Toy Soldiers by Martika. And actually, I love that song. I still listen to it. It's kind of the theme song I live by now, one of them. And it's all about taking that one step at a time, step by step, operating in unison, just doing what you need to do. The one thing I would leave out of the 80s is the pastel colors. Thank you, Toastmaster and distinguished guests.
Or table topic master.
Or tabletop master.
And now you have three more plethora of table topics that you can call the topic first and then the name after. I'm going to get you to do this by the end of this. Say the topic first and then the name.
All right. Adrian.
Yes.
Magical Mayhem. I did this backwards again, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Theme Magical Mayhem. Adrian. You wake up with a dragon as your emotional support animal. What's their name and attitude?
Hold on one second. I'm having time issues. Stopwatch. Okay. Table topics master, distinguished Toastmaster, and welcome guests, and all those listening from the government. I I decided a long time ago that if I had the support animal of my dreams, it would be a dragon. That's right. One of those fire breathing, uh, fortune protecting dragons. It would be purple because I believe that purple dragons have a greater ability to get the goals accomplished just by their coat and their color. It's furry and fluffy, and sometimes he even sits on my shoulder, which I have to admit is a little painful. But I'm trying to take it as a sign of love, and not that he's trying to harm me. So I chose that support animal because, like a phoenix, a dragon is known for its legendary mythical skills and talents, and I can show you some of those. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
And now she's going to say the topic and then the person's name. Topic and then name. Topic and then.
Random. I'm working on it. Hush.
Is this training?
Random. Shh. Random ridiculousness. Sherry, if your mood changed with your hair color, what would your head look like on Mondays?
Distinguished Toastmaster, Table Topics Master, and distinguished guests and anybody listening. If my hair color changed based on the day, Monday, I think my hair color would be a purplish color. Purplish because I see purple as relaxing. When I was a child, purple, my two favorite colors were purple and pink. And it stayed with me, although I've never had purple hair. I've thought about trying it, but I've never had it. By Friday, I think my hair would be fire red based upon how things go during the week. I don't even know where I'd be on Saturday and Sunday. But generally, like I said, Monday would be purple. Thank you, distinguished table topics. Back to you, distinguished table topics master.
All right. We're going to stay in random ridiculousness, Paul.
Could you add to that random ridiculous topic and then say the topic after the random ridiculous and then Paul? I'm going to train you.
Random topic, random ridiculousness, ridiculous Paul.
No. Question, then Paul.
The
Random
question.
ridiculousness, question, Paul.
Sherry got it.
Okay. I got what she said too, but
I got it too. I'm just ignoring that we have ridiculous Paul.
All right. A squirrel challenges you to a duel. What's your weapon of choice?
Oh.
Table topics master, fellow Toastmasters to be, and most welcome guests. Can you repeat the question? A squirrel challenges me to a duel?
Yes. What's your weapon of choice?
A squirrel challenges me to a duel. Hello there, squirrel. How dare you, squirrel? I will choose the weapon of Table Topics Master. And I will ask the squirrel for a topic. And then I will call upon the squirrel's name. Squirrel Master Mary. You are doing wonderful today. And I'm so honored for you to be Table Topic Master. The squirrely topic. You guys look so serious. Should I introduce the pig? But alas, the squirrel sees the green card and honors the Table Topic Master Mary. Back to you, Table Topic Master. And now I'll pluck myself. I think we have one more or two more, including yourself.
I'm the last one. Everybody else is already gone.
Take it away.
All right. Last topic, table topic is weird worlds and wacky universes for me. And if animals could talk, which one would make the best stand up comedian and why?
Ooh, like that one.
So, Toastmaster and distinguished guests and everyone who is listening. So, if animals could talk, the best comedian, I believe, would be I believe would be, a let's go with a sloth. If you've ever seen the movie Zootopia, the sloth was actually one of the most hysterical parts of the movie. They move so slow. They talk so slow. Now imagine if they're walking and they hit that, banana peel or slip of ice as you're going walking. How slow as they move would you watch this all in slow motion, them hitting the ground? I personally believe it'd be hilarious. Thank you, thank you, Toastmaster and Table Topic.
Well, thank you for
You need
being
to create a script, Paul.
thank
It's
you
just to
thank you for
remember all
being
this.
topic master. I'll make sure I have a cheat sheet for you because you did really great for not having a cheat sheet for the first time. So fantastic. Now, if you could actually, I don't have my phone on me, but we're all amongst Toastmaster to be friends here. You could put into the chat if maybe you want to remind us of who did which one, like if you remember all of those, and tell us to vote for your favorite future Toastmaster to be's table topic. Whoever did their favorite story, put something into the chat. And then we'll vote, we'll announce the winner at the end of the meeting. And you'll get a nice, beautiful certificate.
I don't understand what you want us to do.
To vote for the best table topic
I understood that part.
In the chat.
in the
Put
chat.
the name in the
I
chat.
understood that part, but there was something that you wanted us to write in the chat, and then the voting was going to take place.
In the chat, you'll put the person's name, who your favorite table topic was. And at
Okay,
the end of the meeting, we'll announce the winner. But
got it.
you'll see it in the chat anyway if we put like Sherry twice, Mary 10 times, Adrian 20 times, Paul 3 times, 6 squirrels, and then we'll say the name of the best one at the end of the meeting. Okay, so I'll go into the chat here, and there's a bunch of old things in the chat. Adrian did the best of all time. Says Adrian. Fantastic. Okay, you can vote for yourself, by the way, but there's no way to do in the chat where you're actually privately voting to the table topic master. So one of you guys could put into the feedback on the left side there. It's not working in the chat to send a private chat, and then the person from Skylar will get back to us when that'll be completed. Well, you could always put in the suggestion box. Okay, so now that our table topic session has ended, we'll now go over to our prepared speeches. Now I'll be your Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, Mary. Let's give Mary one more round of applause. All right, for applause for wacky universes of table topics. And now our prepared speeches, our Toastmasters to be have been working diligently all their lives, or as long as they've been doing their businesses, and they all here they're all small business owners and entrepreneurs. So for the prepared speeches, they're going to be the equivalent of the icebreaker speech on all of the different pathways in Toastmasters. The first speech and all of the pathways, whether it's humorous speeches or presentation mastery or dynamic leadership and a whole bunch of other pathways, all starts with an icebreaker speech, which is the shortest speech in Toastmasters around the world in 149 countries, which is 4 to 6 minutes. 4, 5, and 6, and the colors will be explained by our fantabulous timer, Adrian Ticky and Delray Beach.
Yes, so thank you, Toastmaster, distinguished general, whatever Toastmaster you are this
Well,
morning.
you do have it right. I actually am distinguished
You
Toastmaster.
are a distinguished
Coming
Toastmaster,
to think
yeah.
of it, I earned it
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
distinguished Toastmaster and sergeant at arms and every other hat you're wearing today, Paul. We are
Mm.
going to do prepared speeches that are from 4 to 6 minutes in length. At the 4 minute mark, you'll see me hold up the green paddle. At the 5 minute mark, you'll see me hold up the yellow paddle. And at the 6 minute mark, you'll see me hold up the red paddle. I'll give you an extra 30 seconds grace period and then clap you off the stage.
And it almost will sound like an impromptu session because one of you ladies does not know who I'm going to call upon first, but like you're in business and you have to be able to take the stage and talk about your business, your life, your business will be the topic for today. And usually I'm going to give a little bit of an intro too, so then that person will during the intro will know that they have to get ready to take the main platform. Tonight's speaker, our first speaker, will talk for 4 to 6 minutes, all about how recovery comes home. Oh, now we know who it is. And she also loves to be by the beach. She's very close to the beach. She actually is an Olympic pool cleaner, as we heard from one of the earlier table topics. She is a master at cleaning pools, and she loves it. And she is going to talk today all about recovery comes home and what that means. Take it away, Adrian Ticky from Delray Beach.
Thank you, Paul. Distinguished Toastmaster Paul, Toastmasters to be, and everyone who's listening in on the call. I have done a plethora of talks on what I do in business as a recovery advocate, as a speaker, as an author. But today I want to get a little personal. It's easy to see today that I'm put together, I'm articulate, I can get myself dressed and give a really good message. But not too long ago, in fact, 6 years ago, I weighed 74 pounds and was in a wheelchair. And the doctors wanted to put me back on IV nutrition, which went through a central line that went into my heart. That would have been the 15th time I had gone on that therapy, where I have to infuse my food every night. I did not want to turn my house into a hospital again. So 6 years ago, I decided to start an experiment. I decided that I was going to live for 100 days as a well woman, despite the medical diagnosis that I am uncurable. I started out with the initial goal of getting to over 100 pounds, which took me about 2 years. It took me about two more to get to 135 that I'm currently at and have maintained for the last couple of years. I'm also happy to say that I haven't been in the hospital in 5 years. And I want to tell you what I attribute this to. Because before that, I just thought that it was going to be my life's struggle with pancreatitis and pancreas attacks my whole life. So I decided that I was going to put the weight on naturally. I started eating bone broth and bone marrow, 3,000 calories a day, sometimes up to 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day, just so that I could put the weight on. And the more weight that I put on, the clearer my head became. So the more I was, uh, spurred on to continue doing it. It was getting me results, and I had not really gotten the results that I wanted from the medical community up until that point. So what I noticed was that my husband is recovering from drug addiction. and he has been for the last 25 years. But early on, when I first met him, I realized that we were recovering from our illnesses in the same way. His is a physical illness, mine is a physical illness, his is a mental. But we both were doing the same things. First is accept your situation and take action. You can't do anything about the issues that you're having without first accepting what's going on in your life, making a plan, and taking action. Then you have to be brave enough to start over and over and over until you achieve your goals. It's not going to come in the first try. You learn things, you refine your strategy, but you don't stop. You keep going no matter what. And C, cultivate a stellar support system for yourself. This can look like a group of concerned citizens, it can look like your friends. I would strongly encourage you to include people there who will be honest with you and not just blow smoke up your rear and tell you how good you're doing, but will give you an honest opinion of what is actually going on. With those three things, whether it's a pancreas attack, whether it's you're dealing with addiction, whether you're going through a brutal divorce, your house burned down, or some other natural disaster, with the ABCs of recovery and God's help, you can get through anything that comes down your path. Thank you.
How powerful. And I'm not going to offer any evaluation at this time. There will be an evaluation section for all of us where I'll have the challenge of evaluating each and every speaker a little tidbit and not use up the time for all of us. That being said, our next speaker will also talk for 4 to 6 minutes. If Adrian could remind us the timing parameters so our guests and who see this on the rerun perhaps knows the timing parameters in case they miss it.
Certainly. So for the prepared speeches, for the icebreaker in particular, it's a 4 to 6 minute speech, which means that at 4 minutes I will hold up the green paddle. No, green paddle. Then for 5 minutes I will hold up the yellow paddle. Yellow. You're getting sleepy. At 6 minutes I will hold up the red paddle, and at 6 minutes and 30 seconds I will clap you off stage. Back to you, table topics.
Thank you,
Toastmaster.
timer of the evening. Give her a round of applause. All right, timer of the evening, Adrian Ticky. See, where other meeting in the real world does a timer get applause? We really do recognize everything here because we know that in business, it's different out there in the real world. They're not as forgiving. Our next speaker may be our best mimer that you will have ever seen in your entire life. She may add a couple of words here and there. She may whisper like she is the whisperer. Uh, I'm just giving her a benefit of the doubt and also a break if you don't hear her in her normal tone of voice. She won't be yelling at you today. She will actually be carefully, gently using her words. Maybe she might talk about some numbers. She's been known to talk about the IRS and what she can do so you don't have to deal with the IRS. I actually got a chance to be an intern in her office when I was in college, and I didn't know it then and met her later in life. So we'll talk about a small world. And we're talking about when I was at St. Thomas Aquinas College in Rockland County, New York. I had to do an internship for 1 day a week on a Wednesday, and I worked for, I guess it was that day, maybe, I don't know if it was 8 hours or not, or at least I certainly was there for at least 3 or 4 hours. And I had to learn how to write letters. And I wish I had ChatGPT. That could have been an easy day for a nice college student.
That was before ChatGPT.
Right, exactly. So that being said, we have our special. She might use props, which is a great technique that you'll learn in Toastmasters, that when you use a prop could be 1,000 words like a picture. Help me welcome our special guest here for 4 to 6 minutes, Sherry White.
Thank you. Thank you, uh, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you, uh, Toastmaster members, and anybody who's guests, and anybody who's listening on the replay
From the government, as Adrian says.
from the government. Oh, right. Let me start by saying or asking forgiveness for my voice. This began this morning. My husband is recovering from a cold, and I think he gave it to me. I spend most of my time talking either to either on the phone to people who are looking for my to use my services, or hopefully to the IRS or state taxing authority. And I say hopefully because one of the problems these days is that there's nobody to answer the phone at the IRS. And although as taxpayers people would like that, it makes it it's a double-edged sword. It makes it very difficult for the professionals to deal with whatever they have to deal with if they can't talk to somebody. Mail takes months, and you still need to talk to somebody. I look at the situation, and before I pick up the phone to call the IRS, I think about all of the options that I have to help the client to get the information that I need, or whatever the particular reason is that I'm calling the IRS, so that I don't waste time. And speakerphone is very helpful because I take my phone, put it on speaker, and I can multitask. That helps me progress through my day without changing my hair color too much. It also helps me to accomplish a plethora of things. It's about being smart about the way you do things. A lot of people think that they can just resolve their problem, pick up the phone, call the IRS. Oh, I could do that. I explain to them that it's very similar to the circumstances or the situation when you go talk to an attorney about something, where they say you may think you can resolve this, but most often you're giving them more food, more fuel for the fire. I talk to people and I tell them they're going to get more accurate information from professionals, that there is a difference between a professional and just someone who does this. When people ask me, what am I most passionate about? My answer is that I am most passionate about helping people to resolve their tax issues, because good tend to end up in tax trouble as easily as it is to slip on a banana peel. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Paul, guests, and everyone that's listening.
From the government.
From the government.
Thank you very much, Sherry. And we learned another snippet from this business leader, Sherry White. Our next,
I'm glad you did, because I don't know what I said that you might have learned.
I'm going to go back and listen to it on the recording too, and so will you. On that note, our next speaker has been known to run through cornfields at 900 miles an hour. She is an amazing table topic master to be, and she is from the great state of Minnesota. Help me welcome, 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 welcome. I'm making believe I'm in a stadium. The amazing, 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 amazing. It's not a double clutch. It's the echo in the arena of OMG Biz Cafe here. Help me welcome Mary Stanley. Before you talk, could you also, or Adrian Ticky, remind us of the 4 to 6 minutes to give you timer practice?
Sure. This is our prepared speech section and icebreaker. Mary will have 4 to 6 minutes to present this speech. At the 4-minute mark, I will hold up the green paddle, signifying that she has completed her time. At 5 minutes, I will hold up the yellow paddle, signifying she is in the middle of her time. And at 6 minutes, I will hold up the red paddle, signifying she is out of time. I will give her another 30 seconds grace period and then clap her off the stage.
Thank you very much, timer Adrian Ticky. And that was a plethora of times to practice. And next up is our speaker. Help me welcome, bring her to the stage. We have a great stage here at OMG Biz Cafe. Mary Stanley. Woo!
Thank you, Toastmaster Paul, and everyone here, and guests who are watching on the replay. Imagine a young soldier entering boot camp for the first time. The world is loud, rules are strict, everything is unfamiliar. Their sense is high alert when they're told when to eat, sleep, speak, when to march. They learn to suppress instincts in favor of protocol, to hold in pain, to blend in, to perform under pressure. Now imagine an autistic child walking into a classroom. The world is loud. Rules are unwritten but expected. Everything is unpredictable. Like a soldier, their nervous system is overwhelmed. They're told when to talk, sit, look, and respond. They learn to mask their needs to comply, to survive in a world that misunderstands their wiring. Soldiers are trained to mask fear. Autistic kids are taught to mask their true selves. Soldiers wear uniforms. Autistic kids wear invisible masks. Quiet stems, copying peers, pretending not to be overwhelmed, not because they want to fit in, because not fitting in is being punished. We call masking survival, but survival has a cost. For soldiers, the cost might be PTSD. For autistic kids, it might be burnout, anxiety, depression, or losing their sense of identity. The goal of boot camp is to make soldiers ready for combat. But what kind of world are we preparing for autistic children when we treat classrooms like battlefields? Underneath it all, both groups share something else: a dysregulated nervous system. The brain doesn't feel safe. The soldiers, it's from exposure to trauma. For autistic children, it's often from sensory overload and constant correction. Both can experience an overactive fear center, suppressed vagus center, which is difficulties regulating calm, disrupted interception, confusion about internal signals like hunger, pain, or emotions. Yet, we treat both with behavior correction instead of nervous system support. We wouldn't tell a soldier with combat trauma to just try harder to feel safe. So, why do we tell children with sensory trauma just to sit still and pay attention? Here's the truth: soldiers and autistic children don't need fixing, they need understanding. They need spaces that regulate, not restrain. Support that honors how they process the world. Instead of demanding eye contact, offer safety. Instead of punishing elopement, ask what the body is running from. Instead of using token systems, try listening. Because behavior is always a form of communication. Just like we wouldn't want send a soldier back into the war without healing. We shouldn't send autistic children back into classrooms that feel like combat zones. A soldier comes home to say, I don't feel safe. Autistic kids say nothing. Maybe can't find the words, but their body speaks. From shutdowns, meltdowns, withdrawals, chronic fatigue, selective mutism. It's not defiance, it's distress. It's a nervous system saying, I need rest, not rules. I need support, not standards. I'll never meet. If a soldier says they're struggling, we honor their sacrifice. When an autistic child says the same thing, we call them disruptive. This has to change. Army has a creed. I will never leave a fallen comrade. We carry that same promise for our children. No one gets left behind. We build connections before correction. We should choose compassion over compliance. We should support identity over invisibility. So, whether it's a child flapping their hands in a noisy room or a veteran flinching at fireworks, the question is never what's wrong with them. The question is what happened to their nervous system? How can we help them feel safe again? Because safe isn't a luxury. It's a starting point for every human being, whether on the battlefield or on the playground. Thank you. Toastmaster Paul.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing your experiences. And that is our third speaker. Now we're up to our fourth speaker. Adrian, could you remind me of the 4 to 6 minute timing?
Are we honestly gonna have another speaker and then do evaluations and all that?
Yeah, since I'm going to be doing the evaluations, I'm going to maybe do like 2 minutes for each person instead of the 1 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, but like the three of us have already gone. Are you gonna do a speech now too, and then we're gonna do evaluations?
Correct.
All right. Because I don't have much longer.
Well, till like not till 8:30. No, how much
Okay.
longer? How much longer?
Well, I mean, an hour is usually.
An hour. I had the time set from 7 to 8.
I gotcha. I'll work it out. I just don't want to get a divorce.
Oh, okay. You want me to? What's Jim's number?
My husband's already been in here, and I put my hand up, and he walked out.
That's me too. I'm going out to divorce papers. Don't worry.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Maybe we could share a place if we both get divorce papers.
Okay, so Adrian and Jerry could share a place. All right, Jim, meet Bruce, and Bruce and Jim can share a place. Okay.
At least we're having fun.
Okay, so before your divorce, could you say the timing parameters?
Yes, I sure could. So the introductory speech called the icebreaker is a 4 to 6 minute speech. At 4 minutes, I'll hold up the green paddle, signifying that you've made time. And then at 5 minutes, I'll hold up the yellow paddle, signifying you're in the middle of your speech. At 6 minutes, I will hold up the red paddle. And at 6 minutes 30, I will clap you off the stage.
Thank you, Adrian. Let's get a roll on here so that we have happy families all throughout. Thank God we have somebody from neurodiversity that could help aid in the process just in case we need that. In emergency, Mary is standing by. Don't dial 911, just dial Mary Stanley's number. She's going to put it in the about section. Help me welcome a avid marathon runner and loves to train for marathons. If you didn't know, he wasn't accepted into the military. He didn't try because he had this thing called scoliosis at age 18 while everybody graduated from high school, and the next day he went to the hospital to take care of scoliosis. That being said, he has completed, don't worry, over 6 different marathons, 26.2 miles, and at least 12 different half marathons at 13.1 and a bunch of 5Ks. Has anybody here ever run a marathon before, like a whole 26.2 miles? It looks like we have Mary. Okay. Is that because the sergeant was yelling at you from behind your back, or this was voluntary at one of your local, and that's considered a marathon with full gear and rifle and everything? Or was it one of those where you get a t-shirt and a medal?
So what you're talking about is a rucksack march, and no. We do Run for the Fallen every year. We do marathons to raise awareness for suicide rates in the military.
Oh, fantastic. So thank you for serving and all of those that are also for suicide rates and everything like that. On that note, people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. And I thought it would be a great start to talk about my love for running marathons, because the first time that I attempted to do a marathon, I had no idea what I was going to get myself into. I saw a picture of somebody on their social media page on a cover photo of a finish line and a guy going through it. And he was so happy. He held up his hands, yay! And he had finished the marathon. And I said, you know what? And he had those numbers on his chest. And I didn't know whether those numbers, to me, when I didn't know about marathons, it looked like he had this tacky number on his chest. And I didn't know he had to run the whole 26 miles with that there so he could identify me to get my nice, beautiful picture when I was done. How long did it take me to train for that marathon? It took 4 months. They told me that it would take 4 months and they would get me across the finish line. I signed up for this organization called Team in Training that is partnered with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and they train you to run a full marathon. I had to agree to raise money for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and then they would train me. So every weekend on a Saturday, you started from 30 minutes and you would add 10 minutes every weekend. You would add 10 minutes to your run until you got to a long run of 20 miles. And then that was the safe part where you could finish the whole marathon after you finished a long 20-mile run. I know that every week I would take a lot of naps, and finally around the 10th week or 15th week, I got that stamina where after I was done with my training run for 8 miles or 10 miles or 15 miles, my wife would say, let's go to the mall, or let's go to a craft store, a craft show, and let's go for, a shopping. And then that would add another 3 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles to my run. So if I did 10 miles training plus walking around the mall with my wife, that was also part of Paul's training. But I embraced it and said, whatever you want, happy wife, happy life. And that added to my training. When I got to the actual marathon, I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. The marathon started at 5:30 or 6. And I was done. My first one at 7 hours, I could have walked it. But my goal was to get over the finish line. Now, how many people actually make it across the finish line when it comes to their retirement? I'm going to go with the same line that people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. I know I'm amongst all planners here that are listening, and of course the government as well, future Toastmasters, and everybody in this room. Everybody else out there, we know that the statistics are unreal and terrible. That 95% are dead, disabled, or broke when it comes to planning for their retirement. The people that don't plan for a marathon, not so forgiving if you don't do the training. By the time you get through 13 miles and then 16 miles, if you can't jog it anymore, you're lucky if you could walk yourself all the way across the finish line. And of course, if you can't walk yourself across the finish line, there's an emergency wagon that comes to pick you up. And if you can't make it, you could ride the golf cart or the bus or the van all the way back to the finish line. What is the van that picks you up when you're at the end of retirement planning? I suppose that would be Social Security. You have a fail-safe, if you want to call that a fail-safe, because it's not going to be the luxurious, perfect retirement that you probably dreamed about. When it comes to marathon running and training and planning for financial planning and retirement, plan, plan, and plan some more. Even having a coach would make all the difference in the world. Don't consider your financial freedom dead and your marathon training dead also until Paul calls your hearse. Fellow future Toastmasters to be. Okay, this ends our meeting. I will have to get to our general evaluator before we end up with a couple of divorces in our Toastmaster meeting here. So we'll go right to our general evaluator, which is in charge of evaluating the overall sense of the meeting. First of all, I will note right away that if it wasn't clear, we will know better for next time. The timing parameters for the entire meeting is from 7 to 8:30. So tell your husbands that you will be here from now on. Of course, if you can't make every week, we understand that we're a community of business owners and business leaders. And maybe if there's any kind of minimum requirement, I'd love for you guys to all be here 4 times a year for every quarter. But I know all of you guys can be here more than 4 times for the year. Maybe once a month or twice a month will be a great goal for us all to grow together as a team building environment. What else could I say? I think that this is a beautiful beachside, any place for business owners to gather together, especially if we all can't be on the same beach at the right time zone where the sunset stays like this for the entire meeting. But some of our members are from places like Minnesota and Delray Beach and Lake Worth and more Delray Beach. Oh, we have all Florida is in the house today. Fantastic. You're outnumbered, Minnesota, for today. You'll have to invite a business owner from another state is my challenge to you. All right, now I'll introduce the first evaluator that will be competing to evaluate. I'm going to keep the evaluations all at 1 minute in interest of time. And I don't have any divorces happening because of this meeting. So for 1 minute, if you could hold up the green. Tell us the timing parameters for 3 different cards for 1 minute. So I could start and end for different tips for each of the speakers. And
Sure. So at 33 seconds, 33.3 seconds, I will hold up the green. And then at 66.6 seconds, I will hold up the yellow. And at 1 minute, I will hold up the red. And at 1 minute 30, I will clap you off the stage.
Okay. What's the difference between 66 seconds and 1 minute?
30. Oh,
just
Just
check it.
60 seconds
It's
is a
maybe.
minute.
I was doing 100. I was doing 100. I'll hold this up at 20 seconds, 40 seconds, 60 seconds.
Okay, that's better. All right.
Sorry.
Make sure that I'm on track here. Thought you'd get a laugh. All right. So now I will first evaluate as your first evaluator, Paul Finkelstein. I'm now in my role as evaluator. Thank you, General Evaluator. Clap my hands. All right. Awesome, Paul. All right. Adrian was our first speaker. Now I'm uttering the first word for my first 60 seconds. Adrian came right out of the gate and she shocked us with some real world story. A real personal story is the most powerful thing that you can give in a speech. All of us as business owners really are not shy here, although maybe some of us, maybe myself, are maybe more reserved than others. Although with practice in Toastmasters, I get better and better every day. And I even signed up to do a podcast with Mary Stanley, and she took me on, so she must have thought I was confident to be on a podcast. I told her that I did a podcast, and she believed me. But this isn't about me, it's about Adrian. Back to you, Adrian. What else could I say?
Great.
Adrian? I know that she's talked in front of 700 people before, but all of us probably not might not have done that. And I could just feel her enthusiasm and energy, as if she was talking with in front of our audience, and we had 700 people here. She fills the screen, and she puts the camera in a perfect spot. The lighting is great as well. This is more about the delivery than the content of her speech, and the content, and you lived it, and you have the passion for it. Maybe if there's any one tip to improve here, to be like this, the Oreo cookie or the sandwich method, I would maybe suggest subtly that we can't move around a lot in these boxes. And on this particular platform, you could probably click on it and make the boxes bigger or smaller depending on which setting you're using. But I would say if there's a way that we could make a little bit added extra motion, maybe perhaps introduce a prop and put it in front of the screen. Maybe not cover your face like I just did, but maybe something to add to it when you're doing a virtual speech. Of course, we're not here in front of you to see you do it in front of a larger audience, but you'll obviously have to when you're in front of a larger audience, the people on that side of the stage in person pay just as much as the people on that stage. So make sure that when you're looking into the camera and then at the screen and then the camera at the screen, make sure that you look at the audience on both sides and maybe walk over to this side of the stage. You probably do all these things. That being said, I can't wait for your next speech. Now we'll go on to our next evaluator. So our next speaker was Sherry White, I believe. And Sherry White had a very sexy voice today that got our attention. So even if you get laryngitis, maybe you could incorporate that into your speech. I know that she leaned forward. She goes back and forth in her chair to demonstrate her mood and position of authority, like the queen's throne that she's sitting on. And whenever she talks about the IRS, people listen. I think maybe there's a particular commercial advertisement on TV when E.F. Hutton talks, people listen. So when Sherry White speaks, people listen. She has that tonality about her voice, like it's the tax lady talking to you, like Uncle Sam telling you you've got to do this or else. She is serious at what she does. What could I offer as a tip to improve? I would say, if anything, more the same. Maybe I'll add a little different thing from Adrian. I think that I myself might tend to not allow for some space between. Although I think you had some gaps and silence between, and better than most speakers. Uh, so I can't go with that one. Maybe just here. One tip to improve. I think I'd love to see you maybe jump out of your chair next time and scare us a little bit, so that would be a little bit extra. All right. So now we'll go to Mary Stanley. Mary has a very calming voice when she speaks. And you can tell that she has been doing podcasting for years and years and years, and she's very comfortable in front of her video screen. She is put together, she combs her hair, she puts on her glasses, and when she's always makes sure, and she has a smile there, making it welcoming for people no matter what the topic is that she's going to talk about. I would suggest maybe the same thing I sent to Sherry is that maybe I'd love to see you give us a little bit of a shock value besides the fact that, I think that 7% of the speech is content and 55% is nonverbal and 38% is tone of voice. Maybe perhaps I challenge you to add some flavor in from the 38% of the tone of voice and give us that shock value of hoorah or something, say something to a little bit extra to wake us up, because when you've been in those meetings where some people, no matter what you say, fall asleep to any of us speaking. So we always need to come up with ways to make sure our audience is alert. I can't wait to hear your next speech, and I can't wait till we have 20 members. I'll have to find maybe some samples, although I'm sure we all have other icebreaker speeches in different areas as we get more members for our great club. Okay, so that's our three evaluations. Actually, I'll add a minute for myself here. Evaluating yourself is not recommended, but don't try this at home. I'm a trained professional. Paul is a little overdoing it in the multitasking department. Definitely do not try this at home, but you're all home, so why not try it and come to our meeting and enjoy table topics and be table topic master. I'm going to come back anyway, no matter what you guys say, until we have 20 members, and then somebody can continue our legacy here of what we started. I can't wait to do that. What else could I say to give myself a little bit of piece of advice? Why don't I just go around the room real quick for like 5 seconds, and Sherry, tell me 5 seconds of what you think you'd like to see me improve, not to put you on the spot.
5 seconds to tell you how I'd like to see you improve.
Sure.
I'd like to see you talk a little bit slower.
Thank you. And Adrian, you like to see
I'd like you to be a little bit more funny.
funny? Okay, more funny. Okay. Either hang out with Bruce and come up with some jokes, or like funny, like self-deprecating, funny way I should make.
Yeah, just like a slight, just a play on words, or yeah, you're not funny enough.
I'm not funny enough. Okay, thank you. And Mary, you have 10 seconds or 5 seconds of what you'd like to see Paul do more of.
I want your natural personality, like you are in the morning groups, come out in the event.
My natural personality.
Where you are funny. You have those twisted, back and forth and one-liners that you do.
Okay.
You got to bring that out in this. When you get it's like you get overwhelmed and forget what you're going to say, so you start talking really fast to make sure you don't forget what you're saying.
Is it okay? Fair enough. I think I'm under pressure because I don't want these two ladies to get divorced before the meeting is ended. Is that funny enough? Maybe it's not
It
funny.
is funny.
I
think it's hilarious that Sherry said that we should get an apartment together. That is a hoot.
Does anybody know?
I'm going to start looking, Sherry.
Okay.
What did you say?
We said we're going to get an apartment together. The boys can live together too, right?
Right.
Yeah, you got a whole bunch of realtors on a line or on Skylar here.
I'm going to turn over the meeting to the general evaluator in interest of time, and the general evaluator will now vote. We're not going to vote because it was a little schizophrenic for the evaluator. It was 4 of them, and they were all me. Did you do that automatically with your camera? That automatically zoom in and out? Okay. Wow.
No.
Okay. So now I would turn over the meeting back to the Toastmaster of the day, and the Toastmaster of the day will now have the votes tabulated from the table topics, and now we will award the best table topic winner to, I have to go over to the, oh, look at that. We have 3 votes for Adrian. Adrian is now our table topic winner for the 3rd to be Toastmaster Club OMG Business Cafe. Congratulations, Adrian. Look for your certificate going on all the different social media outlets.
Awesome.
Well, you didn't vote.
I didn't vote. Okay, fine. Let me add a vote in. Okay. Okay, I'll put 1 for Mary and 1 for Sherry. Okay, I voted.
Voted twice.
I voted twice? Oh, okay. Right, take out the last one.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so now, did I leave anything else out? We voted.
Yeah, the times.
Toastmaster of the day. Oh, the general evaluator before the Toastmaster, and we declared the votes. This is what happens when you multitask. Sorry, husbands, you have to wait for a couple more seconds. The general evaluator has to get the reports from our timer, counter, and grammarian. So, in interest of time, you could tell us the timing. How did we go for? What was the time for the speeches?
The speeches. Sherry was 5 minutes and 14 seconds. well within time. Adrian was 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Also in time. Mary was 4 minutes and 17 seconds. And Paul was 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Everybody was in time.
Thank you for the timer. And now, what's the report for the counter?
So we had 16 ahs, ands, repeats, you knows. But plethora was used 4 times by Paul, 2 times by Mary, 2 times by Adrian, and 1 time by Sherry.
Well, we all got it in.
We all got it in.
Thank you, counter, Adrian. All right, everybody, clap for Adrian for the counter. And now the word grammarian. What's the report for the word grammarian?
That was what I just said. Paul, you used it 4 times. Mary twice, Adrian twice, and Sherry once. And I didn't notice any blaring grammatical errors.
Did you notice any interesting use of the English language or any phrases that were?
There was a lot of sarcasm going on here.
Sarcasm.
Yeah.
Sarcasm.
I gotta love it. It's either sarcastic or sardonic. I can't remember. Sardonic is when it's sarcasm with a dark tone.
It's quite contagious.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, word grammarian. Everybody clap for the word grammarian. Okay, so Adrian, do you feel like you got 3 times the normal recognition?
Clapping, I do. And when I get that certificate, it's just going to be over the top.
It will. Okay, and now the Toastmaster of the day will turn over the meeting to the President Pro Tem. Hi, everybody. I'm President Pro Tem. Thank you guys all for coming today. Do you guys all have any last thoughts? What you liked about the meeting? What you learned about the meeting, Adrian?
I love it. I love the format. I love that we know each other and we're doing Toastmasters. I'm having a good time at this Wednesday meeting.
And by having this meeting in the OMG Biz Cafe, we have a business community all in one place versus just another Toastmaster meeting where it's just members going to a place, leaving, and some people might post on Facebook and Instagram and wherever and YouTube. But here, we're already part of a business community. And Mary, what'd you like and what'd you learn?
What I liked is how it just flows. We have, we're a relaxed atmosphere.
And
I would like a script.
Yes, I will definitely give you a script for Table Topic Master so that we get better and better and better. But you did awesome. Thank you. Give Mary a round of applause as well. And Sherry, what did you like and what did you learn?
Well, I normally wouldn't be coming to a meeting at 8:00 at night on a Wednesday night, especially after today. But I enjoy everybody's company here. And the fact that we know each other and we can learn in this environment is fantastic.
The concept of Toastmasters and the business leadership and referrals and relationship building all in one is an amazing idea. Thank you so much all for coming. Does anybody here want to volunteer to be and I'll get a script for you guys for either Toastmaster of the day or Table Topic Master. Would you like to see somebody else do table? I'll do President Pro Tem, but somebody else here could do Toastmaster of the day and also Table Topic Master. Sherry, you want to give a go at one of those? Maybe your voice will be better by next week.
I could do Table Topic Master.
Okay. And Adrian, want to try Toastmaster of the day, or maybe Mary? Do you want to try Toastmaster of the day and Adrian do
Sure.
Toastmaster?
I can keep on my paddles since I'm the only one with the paddles. I do want to send out the paddles to you guys because I've made enough for everybody.
Okay. So Sherry and Mary.
Maybe Brian.
Brian?
Yeah,
oh, right.
maybe.
Right. Maybe Brian, we could, I'll prepare
He's not here. Make him Toastmaster.
For all the things. Yeah, right. I should make him Toastmaster, right? Since it's the first time, I'll give him a cheat sheet for that as well. Okay, so maybe Sherry, Table Topics, Brian, Toastmaster, and Mary and I will fill in the gaps. Maybe I'll have Mary do General Evaluator since he's from military training.
I'll need a cheat sheet.
Okay, for Topics Master. Okay, gotcha. Thank you guys all for coming. I will now stop the